I don't even want to live that long. I just want to outlive the Rolling Stones. Fuck, I hate the Rolling Stones. Like, never in the history of time has there ever been someone who just got a job by default. Hey, with the Beatles. Oh, fuck, we broke up. Stone's like, nah, man, we're here. Coke's expensive. We're gonna stay. And then glam happens in the 70s, and they're like, no, it's cool. I can wear fucking makeup. I can fuck David Bowie, which is what he did, or attempted to, or discussed it. It is 2021, and I still have to hear the Rolling Stones on the radio. They're like, oh, the greatest band of all time. Fuck the Rolling Stones. I hate them. All right, Charlie Watts seems pleasant. He does, he seems pleasant. But the fucking Rolling Stones, man. Even the bass player left. He's like, this is stupid. I'm leaving. He left 30 fucking years ago. 31 years ago? I don't know, a long fucking time ago. And they're like, no, mate. We're gonna keep touring and such, you know what I mean? God, I hate them. You guys don't even know this, right? But the Rolling Stones were locked in a building by their management who said, just write a fucking song, you retards. For real. Because the Beatles were just like, the Beatles would take a shit and they had a hit record. Not the Stones, mate. They just played a lot of fucking blues cover tunes, mate. The only guy in the Stones who didn't suck died in a pool in the 60s. And they just won't fucking go away. Oh, I hate the fucking Rolling Stones. Again, don't want to live that long. Want to outlive the Rolling Stones. Mick Jagger's gonna bury us all. Keith Richards won't fucking die. How do you do heroin for 60 years, man? He's cool. Totally fine. All the guys from Seattle are pussies. They did heroin, they all died. Not him. No, Keith Richards is fucking calling them jerk-offs. Banging their girlfriends. All right, a little bit of my soul appreciates that. But fuck the Rolling Stones. Then there's this band. Journey. I kind of like Journey. But here's the level. All right, wait, ready this part? The dramatic 80s. Journey. I fucked it up. There you go. Fucking Journey. Oh, play me something good. Aw. Now see? Something I don't hate. The Talking Heads. Now here's the thing about the Talking Heads. You can't fuck to a Talking Heads record because they're like white guys. You know, there's no rhythm to it. But I do like the Talking Heads. Oh my god, like Psycho Killer is my jam! They're all pretty good though. Gene Simmons did an interview a few days ago about Sylvain from the New York Dolls who just passed away from cancer, right? And of course, Gene Simmons being the cunt bubble from hell that he is, every sentence was like, except Kiss is the best. But he said that a million bands came out of New York City in the time frame of the 70s and whatnot, and that they all sounded different. He referenced the Talking Heads, he referenced Blondie, he referenced the Ramones, and he's like, but the only band to be able to play in a stadium around the world is Kiss. I don't know why I'm doing Vince McMahon's voice over Gene Simmons' mannerisms, but I did. I like the Talking Heads. They don't kill me in my heart. John Lydon, Johnny Rotten, who I loved as a child, loved him. I loved him. He made this great sentence, and I believe a 2002 documentary about the Sex Pistols, that only the fake ones can survive because they're vacuous and they're empty. So the Beatles, who I don't even fucking like, broke up and never got back together, and 10 years later John Lennon gets murdered. Respectable way to go. But the Rolling Stones, my friends, because they're fake, are still here. Talking Heads broke up 1,000 years ago. They tried to tour as the Heads, and the fucking singer threw a temper tantrum. And I probably would do that. Like, if Starscream goes on tour without me and they're like, we're just the Stars, which actually was a band in the 70s, but I don't know. If they did that, I would be offended. Love my commentary? No one else does. let's recap before I go run on the treadmill. Fuck the Rolling Stones. Journey's okay. Journey started out as a prog band in the 70s. Like, a lot of guys don't know this, or a lot of people, I should say, because more than just men are listening now. Journey started out because the guitar player, Neil Schon, as a teenager, and I'm going to stress this again, as a teenager, played Woodstock, playing lead guitar for Santana. Let me wrap that around your fucking head. Santana's a pretty badass player, right? His lead guitar player was a 17-year-old fucking Neil Schon, who then fucking plays Woodstock. Am I gonna hit this car? That will suck for me. Didn't hit the car though. All right. They become something like, they're like, listen kid, you want a record deal? Boosty boosty bop. And he's like, oh, I'm progressive. I don't want to make hits. I want to make great music. Which he did. Hey lady. So anyway, he makes great music. That becomes Journey. The lead singer of Black Magic Woman, remember that hit? Do you? Do you? That hit was the original keyboard player, that singer was the original keyboard player for Journey. And he sang that song, Black Magic Woman. That guy, original singer. And they were prog and no one gave a fuck. They didn't sell any records. The management was like, maybe you should get a guy who writes, I don't know, fucking choruses. And they did. And they wheeled in Steve Perry, I believe that's his name, right? And Journey in the 70s ascends to this like stadium rock. That's what they called it, right? They're playing Guns N' Roses. They played the Rolling Stones, and now they're playing Guns N' Roses. All right, I have a soft spot for Guns N' Roses. I love Guns. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're getting a little fucking weird too, but that's okay. Back to Journey. So then in the 80s, Journey has so many fucking hits that a loser, Aerosmith, becomes the opening act on Journey's tour. I'm gonna say that again for you. Steven Tyler, who is cray-cray, is one of the greatest singers in rock and roll history because in his 70s, he can still hit all those fucking notes. Yeah, Aerosmith. Steven Tyler, Joe Perry are opening for fucking Journey. Ew. And then Journey falls off because the 80s kind of end. The singer goes cray-cray. He fires the original rhythm section of Journey. He replaces the bass player with that guy, Randy Jackson from American Idol. For real, look this up. A really rotund, overweight, unhealthy Randy Jackson is the bass player at the end of the 1980s, like 87, for Journey. They fired the drummer, they fired everybody. And the guitar player went along with it against his better wishes because the fucking singer was writing the hooks. You know what I'm saying? In summation, fuck the Rolling Stones. I just want to live long enough to outlive the Rolling Stones. It's Thursday. I'm gonna go run. Stay frosty.